Hello YouTube, NMP0 here, and I recently asked my subscribers, how do you pick your main in a fighting game? It's one of the first questions somebody has to ask themselves before they can even start playing the game. So I made a poll trying to answer that question, and with 640 votes, 5% of people picked their character based on top tier, 39% picked by game style, 10% picked by loyalty, 38% by how the character looked, and 8% by another method of them deciding how to pick their characters. We'll get into that in a bit, but first let's talk about the first four options. So, starting with option 1, we have top tier characters at 5%. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I play against top tier characters way more than 5% in any fighting game I ever played, and it just feels like 5% is way too low. Maybe I'm just remembering getting my ass whooped by top tiers way too much, and not remembering whooping ass against low tier characters. You know, the trauma of getting beat by a top tier over and over again just stays in your brain longer. Either way, I feel 5% is too low. I think it should be like at least 10%. Doesn't matter, it is what it is. So let's move on to the next choices. So choice 2 is character game style at 39%, and I also want to talk about choice 4, which is how a character looks, at 38%. And the reason I want to talk about both of them is because depending on what game I was playing is how I would have answered this poll. If I'm playing Street Fighter, I'm going with game style because all I did in Street Fighter was play Shoto. I played Ryu, Sakura, Sagat, Akuma, and I'm probably going to stick to playing Shoto characters in Street Fighter games. So Street Fighter 6, that's what I'm going to be playing. It's what I like to play, it's what I know how to play. So, you know, that's what I'm going to keep playing in probably every Street Fighter game. But in a game like MK11, there are no Shotos. So I just went with how character looks. And I really like the look of Kung Lao. Just like him throwing his hat, just the whole monk vibe thing. And I tried other characters. I played Aaron Black, I played Sindel, I played Gearus. And at the end of the day, I just went back to Kung Lao, and that's what I stuck with until I stopped playing the game. And I had a ton of fun with Kung Lao just because he looks cool. And with that being said, let's move on to the next option, which is character loyalty at 10%. And that seems about right because not a lot of people are character loyalists, but you do see them around. And at one point I was a character loyalist when I first started playing fighting games, and my character was Ryu. Any game I played, I picked Ryu, and that's because Ryu was the character that I learned how to do Hadouken motions with, Shoryuken motions. He was the character that I learned my first strategy with, which was Hadouken, wait for the jump, Shoryuken. So I just like playing him. I probably will continue playing him in every game. Even if I don't have him as my main, I will, you know, just maybe learn the character, play him for fun. He's just a nostalgic character for me. And lastly, we have the option of other at 8%. And if all the last choices didn't fit the way you picked your character, you could write down in the comments how you did choose your character. And let's see what some people wrote. Okay, so we have Keshik, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He says, always pick low tier. You win, you add an extra insult to your opponent's injury. You lose, you have a decent excuse to cover up. And what a twist, because this man does pick by tier list, but not by top tier. He specifically picks by low tier. And why is that? Well, because you want to rub salt in your opponent's wounds once you beat them, saying, hey, I just beat you with a low tier character. And if you lose, hey, well, you know what? I was using a low tier character. What do you expect? It's a win-win situation, and I just find it hilarious that if you really do pick your characters just to have this argument, it's just funny to me. But hey, man, you know, to each his own, and let's see what the next comment brings. So now we have Rekka sketch writing. I like swaggy combos and cool character design. Now I did ask him if character execution comes into account, because we all know that swaggy combos just take a great deal of execution. And he replied with, I guess you could say I prefer difficult execution because it's something I can take pride in knowing not everyone can do the inputs. I actually find this way of picking characters actually pretty cool because he's not just picking characters based on swaggy combos, but on how hard they are to perform. And I can actually relate to that back in when I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom, or when I first started playing Marvel vs. Capcom. I did not know how to do air combos, fly on fly combos. I did not know how to try dash because I came from just playing Street Fighter 4 and Turbo. Also, I played that for a bit, so I had no idea these concepts of air combos and all of that. And I wanted to play Doom really badly. I just liked the character. I liked how it looked. And his combos were extremely difficult to me, and they looked really swaggy when you did do them. And it took me a long time to learn his combos and learn his movement and all of that, like just all the try dashing, box dashing, and his air combos, relaunch combos. So once I actually learned it, I have not stopped playing him since, because why did I spend all that time practicing Doom if I'm not gonna pick him? But yeah, I just find that way of picking characters based on how hard they are to use or to execute their combos with. It's just a pretty cool thing to do. So if you pick characters this way, you know, much respect. I know how hard it is to learn these difficult combos and actually pull them off in a real match. So with that being said, let's move on to the next comment. So Emo Coaster writes, by how their movement and combos feel mostly, also a bit of looks. So movement is an important part of picking a character, because you have to ask yourself, do you want to control the ground by wave dashing and command rolling and doing stuff like that? Or do you want to control the skies by flying and throwing projectiles and stuff of that nature? So I can see how movement can be a deciding factor in picking a character. And now lastly, we have a comment by Kawaii Empoleon. I still have no clue to this day how to find a character. Well, to be honest, with the new DNF Duels games coming out and the KOF 15 game coming out, which I never played a KOF game before, and the new League game coming out, which I never really played League like that, I'm probably not going to know which character to pick either. I'm probably not even going to know what game I'm going to play. But this is the fun of picking up a new fighting game, is that you don't know who you're going to play, so you have to test out characters, figure out what you like, what you don't like, how you want to play the game. And it just becomes like a part of the experience of playing a fighting game, is figuring out who you want to play. Well guys, that's the end of the video, and if you have a way that we didn't mention here how you pick your character, please let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to be part of our next video, then go to the poll that I posted on my YouTube channel asking what's your most hated archetype in fighting games. That's it guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys, I'll see you next time.